The one thing that makes me extremely nervous with any kind of ministry that claims to be Messianic or, I suppose Messianic is, I suppose Hebrew roots would fall into this too, but any group that that claims to preach the gospel, but then incorporates rabbinical text and or Kabbalistic belief and practice into their into what they do, I am extremely concerned about. Because I wonder. Actually, I named this show "Separating Things That Essentially Differ." I think that the Kabbalah and a lot of the rabbinical texts are essentially bordering on or fully in the occult. And so to attempt to mix the gospel with things that are clearly part of Kabbalistic and occult practice, in my opinion, are things that essentially differ. And that makes me wonder about the validity of the gospel message. In other words, is this the gospel that Paul preached, or is it a different gospel? That's what concerns me. Whether or not this FFOZ or whether or not a different Christian organization gets called out by the local news in Israel is kind of beside the point, simply because I think that could actually work against the locals in Israel in terms of trying to keep back the gospel. If people hear all of a sudden, hey, these people are preaching the gospel, anyone who might be curious about what that is now knows exactly where to go. So I don't think being called out for preaching the gospel is necessarily a bad thing. I think anyone who's trying to hide the fact that they're Christian, that might be that might be suspect.
Well, it'll be interesting with the state of Israel how this goes, because one is, like, there is a Bible Society in Israel right there on Jaffa Street, right outside the old city, and they have Hebrew books, they have Hebrew New Testaments, they have Hebrew books, like comic books of the Gospels, like with well done drawings for kids, but it's all the dialogues, all the bubbles are in Hebrew, but it's known. It's like known. This is Christians in Israel, in Jerusalem, publishing materials in Hebrew. And I remember talking to people there, and they were like, yeah, sometimes, Orthodox people will come in and browse through the books, and buy stuff. And so, but they have to be, that there's some sort of agreement with the state of Israel that says, okay, we know what you're doing here. But as of this other group, I don't know if they were trying to fly under the radar as we're a Jewish studies kind of center. So we'll see what happens here.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.